People in Hong Kong are able to protest like this because of the territory's one country, two systems policy. Even though the former British colony returned to Chinese control in 1997, Hong Kong has its own laws and locals have more civil liberties than the Chinese mainland. But these protesters are worried that slowly that autonomy is slipping away. The 9 activists at the front have been found guilty of public nuisance by a Hong Kong court for their part in 2014 pro-democracy protests. They could now be sentenced to up to 7 years in prison, but they're defiant.
Many people today, with me together, will continue to strive for Hong Kong's democracy and will persist on and will not give up.
Benny Tai was one of the leaders of the 79-day sit-in, which became known as the Umbrella Movement. Protesters took over streets across the city and used umbrellas to shield themselves from pepper spray and tear gas. They were calling for universal suffrage, where everyone in Hong Kong could vote for any candidates who wanted to run. Currently, candidates need to be pre-approved from Beijing, and only a small committee elects them. Beijing was opposed to the protests and has backed the verdicts against the activists.
The central government firmly supports the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region's government to punish, according to the law, the main organizers of the illegal Occupy movement. I also want to remind people from other countries who hold a one-sided view that the verdict was indicative of shrinking freedoms in Hong Kong, that is illogical and baseless. Just look at the situation in other countries, and you can draw a fair and unbiased conclusion.
Opposition activists are also fearful of efforts to make it easier to extradite people from Hong Kong to China. The protesters here include a former bookseller who said he was abducted and taken to China for selling books that were critical of the Chinese government. The fear is that any attempt to make extradition easier would see people from Hong Kong prosecuted in China for being critical of Beijing's leadership.
Perhaps in the worst scenario, activists might be jailed in mainland China, even they are permanent Hong Kong resident. We just realized that how the extradition law is not only affecting citizens in Hong Kong, but also affecting any businessman or tourists that travel or exist in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong's government says the proposed new rules are necessary to allow a Hong Kong man accused of killing his girlfriend in Taiwan to be extradited there. They've led to a furious response from opposition politicians. But as two systems slowly seems to be merging into one, do they have much hope of stopping China's grip on Hong Kong from tightening? Abubakr al Shamahi, The Newsmakers.